Hey guys, Linker here. In this video going over the broken Overlord heroes. There's a lot to cover, so let's get to it. I'm delaying the huge podcast tomorrow because this is huge. Big thanks to Panafonic for leaking heroes we've speculated will be released. We have their abilities, SI and furniture text but not images, so we'll have to make do. Both of those Overlord heroes are dimensionals, likely exchanged through normal rates, so you better start banking some of these resources. They're both incredibly broken. I wouldn't recommend skipping them. And Albedo has specific interactions with Ainz, we'll get to that. First, Ainz, his lore is pretty relevant, and hang on with me through this. In the anime, he's the main protagonist, a cautious and careful undead boss mage leader. Well, that's pretty much the same in AFKArena. We can be pretty sure he'll be spiraling mage carry, starting from his abilities. His ultimate, Fallen Down, takes a few seconds, then deals 580% to the whole enemy team. Now this is almost 3000% scaling. It's unheard of in terms of global damage, and there's more coming about it. While this does have the drawback of the long casting duration, unlike Isabella, if it's interrupted it'll regenerate energy. He also has ways to skip it, which we'll get to, and then his second ability, Magic Caster, makes it so that his basics are also abilities. He uses them in a cycle. Thunder dealing damage to a single target, a lot of damage. Gravity Maelstrom dealing AoE damage, this would be similar to Gwyneth in a sense. And True Dark dealing damage and preventing the enemy from using their ult for a few seconds. So this one ability is everything that's broken about Gwyneth joined with Aziz, and that's just his basics. His third ability was pre-hyped because of the name. The goal of all life is death, so after 30 seconds, all enemies lose 40% of their current health and get stunned. Do you remember the Curses in Abyssal? This guy is the Curses in Abyssal. But you might be telling me, Linker, 30 seconds is a lot. Well, just you wait, we have a lot coming starting from his fourth ability. Steady preparations. At the start of battle he gets a shield, making him immune to control and increasing his energy, attack and defense ratings. He keeps using this until the shield is bursted, so you better know you want to burst that shield through. This ability is huge, giving him utility both against slow and burst comps. Against slower comps, this guy needs to stay alive for a few seconds and this buff becomes really hard to handle. Against those burst comps, it starts immune to CC and he has a shield, so your errands are gonna encounter some trouble when facing this guy. He's still going to be better against lower comps in my opinion, but damn does this sound strong to me. Now before we dive into the furniture and SI, which I don't have any pictures for, so you guys will have to excuse me, just so that you understand how he works. He starts the battle chanting and buffing himself. Once the shield busts through, he starts doing enchanted basics to enemies. Occasionally he'll drop that huge bump ultimate at the whole field, and if the battle prolongs long enough, he'll do massive damage, stunning enemies and doing damage scaling on their health. That's bigger than Daemon ult. Like, you guys, I don't think you understand how crazy it is. So the only thing he needs now is something that makes him stronger as the fight goes on, and that's where the signature item and furniture come into play, helping him scale as this goes through. So the signature item is called Cash Items. Another reference to his lore, he had lots of items. Cash Items makes it so that the chanting phase of the ultimate is omitted for the first one time, scaling up to the first 3 times it's used at plus 20. The plus 30 increase the damage of the ultimate by 50%. The ultimate, that's the thing that does 3000 damage across the field, 3000% scaled. Now it's over 4000, dealing 870% to all enemies. This is stupid scaling, especially when you take into account he buffs his own attack when the battle starts. So as this thing goes on, the scaling on this is really gonna be mad. Then his furniture, the 3 out of 9 gives him maximized magic. Every 12 seconds, the debuff duration and damage of Magic Caster are increased by 150%. So Magic Caster, that's the basics that he does. That thing is getting stronger by 150% every 12 seconds. So incredible power here, stacking cumulatively by the way that we understand this now. This is exactly what he needed. And then that's Aziz ults and Gwyneth imbue damage on his basics. 9 out of 9 makes the goal of all life is death proc up to 20 seconds. This one I also think is going to be very big because this makes him very strong very fast. He needs just this little benchmark, and moving it down to 20 seconds is going to seriously help him, because in the start of the fight he's covered by the shield, in the middle of the fight he's covered by that goal of all life is death thing, and then towards the end of the fight just the scaling on this guy is so huge that he'll probably just annihilate anything in his way. Now you might be telling me, Linker, Ainz is huge if he can stay alive, right? He probably goes well with heroes that defend him. Like, no, none of that. Get your Talines and Hendrix out of here. We have Albedo that was literally made for him, both in the lore and in the game. She's also probably a tank. I'm so hyped for this, guys. I don't know if I'm talking too quick to catch. I'm sorry if I am, but I'm really happy about this one. Here's her abilities, her ultimates. I'm not gonna try to pronounce that. It teleports her to enemies, dealing damage and stealing it into an 8-second shield. No, damage is really good, especially AoE on scaling heroes, and we'll get exactly to how she scales in just a second. Now the second ability is like 3 abilities. Like, this is completely stupid. She receives a shield scaling on her attack. After that, she teleports to the backline ally with the lowest health, body blocking for them. Then she also gets CC immunity, gives the CC immunity to her ally, and absorbs any damage that the ally takes except the positioning. So if Ainz is in your set, she's gonna prioritize him. Obviously huge synergy there on her and his kit. We'll get to more of that, especially in our signature item, but this ability is huge. Now her third ability, Shield Lore, is similar in that sense. She teleports to a random ally, prioritizing Ainz, takes an enemy that's nearby, deals damage and stuns. Really good utility, just helping her disturb. Nothing too broken about that, but when you take it in tandem with her kit, it's just mad support synergy. Now don't underestimate our fourth ability, raising crit resistance and reducing attackers' crit ratings. We don't know the numbers on that yet, especially I don't, but depending on the scaling, this might be a fairer level CC that also buffs her. Her signature item is also completely crazy, so keeps your ear perks for every dimensional hero in the formation, scaling up to 3. It increases the defense of all dimensional heroes by up to 45% for each one, and increases the attack ratings of all dimensional heroes by up to 25%. So remember how Hypogeon's are broken because of the plus 30 defense increase? This stupid thing increases defense by 135% and attack by 75% for all dimensionals in the field. On your side, obviously. This is stupid. Then she also has her furniture. 3 out of 9, check this out. Once the first ally and once Ainz dies, Albedo enters a 14-second rage. This rage makes her CC and damage immune, gives her attack boost equal to 350% of her defense, and the 9 out of 9 makes that she heals herself during this rage for 80% of the damage done during it. So you remember how she buffs herself like this? The first thing that we talked about, the ult, AoE damage, huge AoE damage, while she has Brutus level immunity. Really crazy, turning her into the scary from the support hero. I really like heroes that transform. Now, what should you make of this? I'll tell you my opinion. I think this is huge. I think they're both incredibly strong. I think slow carries like Sophia were falling off in the late game, and Ainz as a set is exactly what's needed to bring one back in. I think Albedo will be pretty strong support even without him, outclassing heroes like Gurus and Hendrik in support and defensive utility while relying on hero death as a mechanic that's kind of different. And I think due to Albedo's SI, they'll probably find usage with other dimensionals on the set, probably enabling dimensional Hypogeon sets for bonus, because the bonus is so valuable it probably won't go for fractional with them. And also the investment is probably necessary for these, so you'll probably need to take out your resources to get them and then invest in their furniture and SIs that are really strong. Maybe Ainz 9 out of 9 is not as necessary, maybe Albedo 9 out of 9, but a 3 out of 9 and plus 30 on both of them is really good. In terms of campaign, Ainz has what it takes to be meta. Albedo might enable some dimensional sets aside from him. In terms of PvP, they'll be weaker in the defense than they are in offense, the way I see things, and that's simply because bursting Ainz might be possible and preparing for Albedo's damage with certain tanks might be possible. I also think they'll be weaker against burst than they are against slow comps, but that's not to deter you from the fact they'll certainly be meta, both in campaign and PvP, at least to some extent, and I think to a very high extent this might be meta defining, at least the way I see it with those scalings. Now, obviously this is a precedent for Lilith, introducing dimensional heroes, which typically take investment to get, that they're this strong. I have no doubt they'll be on the stronger side of those dimensional heroes. We'll probably see them used, we'll see how that goes. I hope they won't cost this much, because this might be too hard for FTPs to get if they're like Ezio or Naka. But there's more stuff like Prince of Persia that I've released to my community, and Twin Skin that appears everywhere. I'll let you check that out. Like and subscribe so that these two get the algorithm recognition they deserve. Let me know what you think, and I've been Linker. Peace.